Hello, I am doing the tier list that I made. Um, Starting off, I'm going to be just ranking them. I'm not gonna rank them purely off of one kind of thing, so it'll probably be based on like fun, how good they are, and maybe some other things. And I'm also gonna probably be giving like dev insight and like different stories regarding different custom items, since most of these are made by me or I was involved in making. Okay. Coin of Destiny, starting off strong. S tier. Fun fact about this item, it wasn't originally supposed to be uh, a normal gameplay loop that players could get. It was originally an item created by our old dev Matrix uh, at request of our SL manager Birch as just a fun little like admin item to mess around with. Um, and then Ashley ended up putting spawning in the Coin of Destiny in the locker of her map, and the players started using it, and people liked it, so we just decided we'd keep it in the standard gameplay loop, even though it was never meant for the standard gameplay loop. But honestly, it's a fun item. I mean, who doesn't like getting a 70% chance to die? But if you don't die, you do get cool and funny effect. Um, so I'm gonna actually also see, I have funny pills. So I did categories two of these where it's the overall category. Where is enhancers? Oh, there we go. So it's basically like the overall plugin category just because I don't know, I felt like it. Funny pills, S tier, as just the concept of the plugin is just amazing and is honestly probably our most popular plugin, maybe rivaled with Serpent's Hand. Um, but uh, weirdly enough, so when we were we me re, we re, when we remade the entire plugins after Mimicry hit because how it fucked everything, um, we remade them into the current rendition of the plugins that you guys know. But back before Mimicry, we were actually using the unlimited SCP source code of the plugins, which was made by Barrel originally. Um, and most of the stuff when we updated it, I tried to keep as close to like Barrel's version as possible, and I still do, especially for a lot of the old like legacy special classes, which we'll probably get to later. Um, but one of the plugins that we did pretty drastically change compared to Barrel's was the Funny Pills, as he had his own version of the Funny Pills. And honestly, I think Program, the maker of our current Funny Pills, did an amazing job. They're honestly like 10 times better. I mean, love you, Barrel. Barrel, greatest dev, makes best plugins, but I really think that our program really did the Funny Pills justice, and it is definitely shown by the fact, by the sheer amount of people who have requested this plugin DLL. Like the amount of times I'll look in Exile and there'll just be like a random person asking, "Hey, is the Chaos Theories Funny Pill plugin public? I want it," and I'm like, "No," because our plugin, ha ha ha. But yeah, definitely S tier. Then we have the Enhancer Adrenalines. Fun fact, the Enhancer Adrenaline, I think, was the very first custom items that I made when I was back in like Mimicry. When when I started, I knew very. I've like grown so much when it comes to my ability to make plugins. Since then, but when I was like barely understood anything about making plugins, one of the first things that was like solely mine that I made from like scratch was the enhanced adrenaline. And honestly, if you were to start making plugins, honestly, making a enhancer adrenaline, like copying like our format for that is honestly would probably be the easiest thing to make. Is it's really easy, a very simple plugin, not hard at all. Um, it was just one of the first things I made, and I threw it on the server because I was like, hey, I made something, yeah. They're not super nuanced, but honestly, I mean, B tier, they're pretty useful. It probably depends which one you're using, but I mean, they're all pretty useful and can help you get out of situations. Uh, Especially if you find them randomly across the map, they enhance you. They're nice, and I don't know. People might rank this lower. They're definitely not as cool as the funny pills, but they hold a special place in my heart as one of like the first thing that I've created. Um, 500 SS. Kind of debating between whether S or A tier, but I think I'm gonna go S tier. I mean, 500S, S tier. I mean, I don't know, it kind of fits. But besides the fact that it has a low chance to make you slow down, which weirdly, like, I never get. Like, there's probably some poor person out there who's like always gets the slowdown effect, and they're like, I hate that pill. Um, but I don't know, that usually doesn't happen to me. And honestly, it's just fun going at like super speed. It's like my favorite thing when I see a new player like join Chaos Theory and they have like no clue what's going on, and they just see someone zoom past them, and they're just like, what? And I'm like, funny pills. And it's just, totally useful. I mean, you can basically get out of any situation with an SCP pursuing you if you have 500S. So just a good funny pill overall. 500X. I'm gonna put H here. I feel like most people are gonna rank this a lot lower. Um, 500X is like I'm pretty sure my favorite funny pill. In all honesty, kind of makes me want. Yeah, I'm putting an S tier. It's my favorite funny pill. Honestly, it. Most people, I don't think anyone else is gonna put it in S tier besides maybe Program, but it's the most creative punny pill. I feel uh, like there's more. I feel like people don't really ever use it to its full extent. Like I mean, there's so many uses for it. You can get out of 079 trapping you. You can get guns early on as a D class. You can get the micro early game. You can open gate. I have this clip of me juking 049 and using 500X and just opening the gate for a second and slipping through and 049 being like staying not being able to get through. It's a fun pill. It's a fun pill. And actually, I don't know, there's some good nostalgia with 500X. I'm pretty sure 500X is actually the first pill that Program made that like wasn't like a barrel pill. So like a lot of these like God, what were the first pill renditions? Like 500S, it worked different than Barrel's old pills, but it's still based on like Barrel's pills, like the Sky's pills based on Barrel's pills. Um, we also tried Size at one point. Those are hopefully actually coming back soon. But this was the first one where Program was like, "Hey, can I make a new pill?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he made 500X. It was it's a nostalgic pill. Um, 500B. I feel like 500B is a lot of people's favorite pill. Like, the little shits who want to like betray their team. Um, I feel like 500B is best used like under like spy, but I don't know. Like, I don't think I enjoy 500B as much as most people do. I mean, it's a cool pill, definitely. Um, betraying your pill can definitely be funny. Especially if you play it off as a disguise pill. I've seen someone do that, and that's even more funny. Um, because of the weird spawn protection thing that's not really supposed to happen, but spawn protection moment. I know, definitely fun. I feel like most people actually might be ranking this higher though. 500D. This is the pill that a lot of people don't like. I'm gonna go C tier. It's I would probably say not as good as the other pills. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that. 500D has been like okay. I will say it's probably better than the old version. The old version made you look like a different like if you were a scientist, you'd look like an MTF. So this one you can at least uh use it to like trick people, like a mini chaos spy almost. It's not a permanent effect, but yeah, I mean it's fun. 500H, I feel like it's not as flashy as some of the other pills, but incredibly useful. Like especially if you're like a juggernaut, like it just starts getting extreme with what amount of health you can have. But honestly, like 20 extra max HP, especially if you like end up stacking them if you find more, like that's honestly just super useful. Um 500i. God. I fucking I mean, program, you're amazing dev and I hate to say it that I'm actually the one who suggested him to bring back this pill, but I fucking hate the invisible pills with a passion. Even, I mean, I feel like with the nerf, a recent nerf with it, it's better. 500i is the only plugin on the server that I can't defend with being unbalanced. Like, people talk about Cassidy being like the most unbalanced cesspool. I feel like we have a different balance scale where if you try to compare a plugin to something base game that's different, but when you contribute all the plugins together, it kind of balances out. But 500i is the one plugin that you just can't defend. It is just a well, I guess I'll die thing. Like you can't defend against it. Except I don't know, kind of with our nerf where you can't open doors, it makes it definitely better. But I don't know, the funny pill makes me rage, but it is quite literally the best item on the server. Um, but I gotta hate it. I hate it. The amount of times I've died as Serpent, which is my favorite thing to play as, because someone under 500 that you don't even know is even nearby, just like murdering you. And I can't. I was the one who suggested to bring back the plugin because Unlimited SCP had invis pills, and they actually worked very similarly. Because it wasn't intentional, but there was a bug where you could shoot under it, and that was kind of like the gimmick of the invisible pills. So I'm like, oh, we can bring it back now with like this new function we have. And God, I fucking hate it. But you program, if you're watching this, your plugins are great. I'm not insulting your plugins at all. The funny pills are amazing. This is just me raging because I get killed too much under it. Uh, okay. Neuro Enhancer. God, this is another. This is one of my very early things I made too. This is one of the codes I really have to rewrite because it's actually terrible. Like I've gone and looked at this old code and it is spaghetti code like to the max. Um, I feel like Neuroenhancer is cool. I don't feel like most people utilize it. Like I mean, it's quite literally a support item. Like you can't use it on yourself. There's been a lot of people who are like, make it so you can use it on your health. Like that's not the point. I am not ever going to make it not a support item. Like you get the enhancement specialist specifically will get like enhancers that are supposed to be. It's like a one use kind of thing to use on yourself. But this item is specifically a support item. And I feel like you can utilize it very well, especially if you get in the habit of buffing your teammates before battle. Um, but I don't know. I feel like SL players are pretty selfish. If they can't use it on themselves, a lot of times they won't care that much. Though I feel like the players that do utilize it can definitely get a lot of value from it. I would say I don't get as much value as I like when I use it because I'm also a pretty selfish player. Uh, but it was one of the first items I made that is cool. I like the item. Eh, it's good memories, except I never want to look at the code, but I'm gonna have to rewrite it eventually because it's just terrible. Then we have the SCP Enhancer, which is the SCP version of the Neuro Enhancer, which is a lot more recent, except I literally just copied the code from the Neuro Enhancer and changed a couple things, so it's also spaghetti code. Um, I feel like it's better than the Neuro Enhancer. Weirdly, I remember when I first released the SCP Enhancer, people were thinking it was going to be really OP, but I don't think it ended up being as OP as a lot of people ended up fearing, which means I'm going to probably buff it. Because I kind of wanted it to be like somewhat OP. I don't know. Serpents are kind of like the thing where it's like they're supposed to be a little bit more OP than normal classes because they're fucking serpents. Like I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think it's. I feel like it can be very, very useful if you're buffing your SCPs before battle because they can definitely help turn the tide. Especially I feel the speed effect can definitely help, but I don't feel it's as utilized or at least not as feared as it like was when it was released. But definitely can be useful. 3 bang dash X. This. Um, do I want it to put it A or B? I'll put it B. See, 3 bang was originally the flashbang variant. Actually, I'll rank both of them at the same time. I think the flashbang variant is more annoying. I mean, if you're playing against it, more annoying but more useful. Um, the flashbang variant was actually made by our old dev, Matrix. Uh, it was originally the 9 bang. Oh boy. And then it was eventually nerfed to the 5 bang, which stayed along around. Okay, you're real OG of the server if you remember the 9 bang. It was a lot harder to get though, but it was the 9 bang was insane. And eventually nerfed it to a 5 bang. And that one actually stayed for a while. And then we eventually decided to go down to 3 bang, and that's probably where it's gonna stay. I feel like it's good at a 3 bang. Um, and I'm the one technically I don't know, I guess you could say it's a me and matrix item because I just use for the most part the format of the 3 bang the flashbang variant for the grenade variant, though a lot of stuff has actually changed because of the amount of time I've spent trying to do bug fixes on this one specific item is crazy because of just how grenade friendly fire like laws work. Me and Joker had to like work on a really roundabout fix to try to fix like one specific bug with the 3 bang X. It's just I feel like these two items have a good amount of bugs associated with them that are all kind of some of them I'll probably eventually fix. Some of them are kind of like, ugh. But they definitely can feel. I feel like this one's more versatile to use, especially as a counter unit. Counter units with this can like fuck shit up. 3 bang X I feel like isn't as good. If you could use this in an elevator, which you can't, which is technically a bug, but honestly kind of a feature because I feel like it'd be too OP if you could use this in an elevator, just instant death for any SCP. But um, since you can't, you have to like kind of time it right in the right area. Though I have seen a good amount, and I've actually been a victim to it. Like someone throwing a 3 bang and you not realizing it's a 3 bang, so you like back up for the first thing, not realize like it's a 3 bang, and then accidentally get hit by like the next two or three ones. So I feel like it can definitely be used well for SCPs, or more important, like good for stalling pushes. Like it can you use it well to stall time. Enhancer D was the dexterity one. This is the eight. I don't know. It's the green juice effect. Uh, I'm not a big green juice fan to be honest. I like never use it. Um, I feel like I don't know the item. I feel like the SCP of the green juice is probably not that good in general. So like the enhancer version that's like on a time limit. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's as good as the other enhancers. It's just kind of it's an okay item, and but I feel like it's kind of niche. Um, medic gun. Oh, this is a barrel item. This was originally an item created by Barrel for his medic class. So it has a soft place in my heart because I love all the Barrel plugins. Um, I feel like the medic gun is a bit underutilized though. Um, I mean, healing as fast as it does, you would think would be OP, but weirdly, I feel like, including myself, it doesn't get utilized as much as it really could be. Though I have seen like a couple players, like I have definitely seen good plays with the medic gun, like when you have like a small group of like kind of good teammates and having that one person make sure the other ones are like always healed when they like peak. Like I've seen some battles get turned because of someone utilizing the medic gun. Also, I would say it's the best gun if you're dealing with an 049 because someone can get like cardiac arrest and you can just keep healing them. Like I've been saved so many times with someone with a medic gun because of it. Mm, can go B tier, but yeah. Anti-med. Oh, our troll items. Oh, dude, randomly one night. Actually, I'll rank all of it. They're all right here in a row. Good. Random one night. It was me, Joker, and a couple other people in VC. I don't know how it started, but we're like, we want to like fucking troll the players, fuck them up. So we came up with like an anti version of each of like the healing items just to fuck with people, and Joker actually coded and made them. Um, I feel like you either love or hate them. You're either someone who trolls with it and likes them, or you put them all at the bottom. Um, anti med kit. I don't know. I'm not gonna say exactly what they do. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. If you haven't figured out what they are, I don't know. Spoilers. Skip ahead in the video. Anti med kit will just kill you, which I feel like. I mean, it's funny, but like I feel like it doesn't have enough flair, like just killing you outright. It's not enough flair. Anti-SCP-500. Mm, I want to put it. I have so many things B tier, but um, I don't know. It's just funny. You lose your hands when you die, but like you lose your hands. It's more funnier of an item. Painmakers. S tier. I cannot express the joy I get every time someone realizes that the Painmaker effect lasts through lives. Me and Joker still crack up to this day. Every time I see someone complain about it, I screenshot it and I send it to Joker, and we both laugh. We laugh so hard because it's so funny. Fun fact, that's actually a bug. Originally, when Painmakers are made, our idea with it was it's basically it takes away the amount of health that you would lose when you use painkillers, but the opposite way, like so it would you do it at the same rate. But something happened in the code where between lives it didn't stop the taking away health, and we found this like randomly in testing. Um, and we decided this is fucking hilarious. It's now a feature because it's so funny. It's so funny when someone takes it and like they die, of course, and then they respawn and they're like, why am I still dying? Oh, oh, it's beautiful. Please, everyone, keep complaining about taking the Painmakers because it just makes our day. It makes our day. Hyperadrenaline, S tier. Uh, Hyperadrenaline, I feel like, is the most underrated item that it was made by me and Joker because God, this item is probably, fun fact, out of every single item that we've ever made, you'd think that the hardest item to make wouldn't probably be the hyperadrenaline, right? Like surely something else would be a lot worse code. No, no, no. This hyperadrenaline by far is the item that took the longest for us to make because of just like how it works. It's it was just such a complication. It took us literally forever to get it working. Um, but I don't know. There's so many people who I just feel don't use it right. Like they'll be like, the hyperadrenaline sucks. It's 95% damage reduction sucks, and I'm like, did you run into 20 MTF? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, well, that's why you died. Like it was so bad that I even made a hint that just because you have 95% damage reduction doesn't mean you can run into 20 MTF without dying. Um, but I feel like definitely if you use it in like one-on-ones or like low like you versus like a couple people, it definitely like it'll turn the tides and it's a fun item to use, honestly, and I feel like it's so underrated and most people don't appreciate how good the item actually is. Um, 500E. Oh, this is the you don't lose stamina effect. Um, I feel like it's definitely useful. It's like a longer adrenaline. I feel like it's not as flashy or as fun necessarily, though in in a pursuit, it can definitely save your life. Um, yeah. Um, SCP-36. This is A tier. There's something just so funny about making yourself disguise as an SCP, and this was something that was specifically made for Serpent. It was based on the old disguise pill, where of Barrel's plugin, where serpents, when they use the disguise pill, would look like SCPs. And we thought that this was a lost feature for the longest time because when we had tried it before, there's this weird voice chat bug where everyone can basically hear you talk, and it's so annoying. So we ended up not bringing back the funny pill version of it for serpents. And then we randomly had the epiphany that we could just like stop the voice chat from actually working. So, AKA, why you can't talk while under it. It's technically to prevent a bug. Um, but then we ended up making it instead of the pill as the 3660 for the shapeshifter. And randomly, I decided, kind of also with the help of program, because we were deciding how we wanted to implement uh, this item. Um, I feel like I really like how it ended up turning out, how like normal classes can use it for, like on a time thingy, and then the shapeshifter can use it like permanently. I think I feel like there's definitely a couple people who probably hate this item because their teammates will trick them into thinking they're an SCP and they'll get pissed. But honestly, I find that like so funny when you think that there's an SCP there and no, it's just your teammate. And it's also just totally useful, especially using it as the serpents because there's people who think it's so useless of an item, and then there's like the people who really know that it's totally useful because it's just it does really give you the edge because you react totally different, I feel like, um, to when you encounter an SCP than a human, which I feel can definitely give the person using this item like an edge because, I mean, hell, like, especially if you look like 9-6, there people because the noise actually goes through. If you didn't know that, uh, because apparently I guess noise is handled on the client side. Uh, so you could totally just trick people into thinking you're 9-6 and they'll look down and then you shoot them in the face. It's great. It's great. Great item. A tier, definitely. SRA, A tier. Um, honestly, item is genuinely such a useful item. Like destroying the SCP's hume shields is one. So this is actually this is probably my favorite item that was made by Matrix. Um, it was honestly just such an ingenious idea. So props to you, Matrix, if you end up watching this. Um, and the item got like 10 times better considering we made our own custom model for it. Well, actually made a custom model for it, just making it like even better so then SCPs can actually like tell where an SRA is. And I feel like it makes combat more immersive in a way, and it gives a way to deal with hume shields. Um, but it doesn't do it in like a super annoying way because the SCPs could just like not go in range of the SRA. But then if they don't go in like the range of the SRA, it can also just be used as a way to like dissuade SCPs from coming. So it's a useful item. Teleport gun, S tier. God, me and program, we tried so hard, so hard to get a working non-buggy version of the teleport gun. You don't even know. It's probably forever be my favorite item and an item I wish could be implemented into the gameplay permanently, but we eventually like recently gave up on it because we ran into a problem with it that we couldn't fix no matter what we tried. But God, I wish it was such. I feel like I don't know. The teleport gun is like probably my favorite idea. There's program's gun. He came up with the idea and coded most of it, but we tried so hard. We spent so much time adding different rules to the teleport gun. We fixed so many bugs. You don't even know how many bugs with it we fixed. And it's just really sad that we eventually couldn't get it to work because me and program really loved the gun, so I love the gun so much. It is such a fun item to use. I wish we could have implemented it permanently, but it is what it is. Trank gun. Oh, this is another item that I made at the very beginning of when I was first starting to learn to make plugins, and it is also the worst spaghetti code I've ever. I need to rewrite it. I don't even want to think about the code. um, dude, there's some people. I feel like trank gun is such a split topic. I feel like there's some people who utilize it like so well, and there's other people who will never even touch the gun. Um, honestly, though, I feel like I I know when I was first considering adding the trank gun, uh, there was a lot of controversy over it because people were like scared of it being too OP and stuff. Because I know a lot of other version of plug-in trank guns don't work very well and like annoy a lot of people. But I feel like I did a pretty good job. Like I don't really ever see anyone complain about the trank gun. Um, and there's definitely I wouldn't say everyone like loves utilizing it, but I know there's definitely people who do. Um, utilize it. And the way I did the Trank gun, I feel like it's different than any other Trank gun plugin that I've seen. So I'm pretty proud of the way I implemented it, and it's not something that people really like that annoys people a lot. So how useful and fun it is. I personally don't utilize it as much as you could, but it definitely, if utilized correctly, um, especially against SCPs, can really like help you. Though I don't know. A smart SCP would never let you like full stop it. And there's a couple people who are like, yeah, the trank gun they full stop me. I'm like, why do you keep pushing? Like it gives you like multiple chances to like decide not to, but you know, people. A7 II. Mm. There's nothing really bad with it. It was just kind of my way. I don't know. Like my making of it was, or well, more so the classes associated with it, just because I don't know. Northern adds a cool gun, new gun, and it's like okay, it's like so rare to get, and I just like I want like people to be able to use it type of thing. So just add it to like a special class, but the gun kind of like sucked a bit, so I just kind of made a little bit of a buffed version. I mean, it's it's just kind of like there. It's not super special, so that's why I put it in D tier. Class T Shank, from a perspective of it being a good item, it's definitely not. But at the same time, it's like the melee version of the FN5. Um, it's not meant to be good, is the thing. Like it's just meant to be a fun little item at the beginning to like fuck around with people with. And the only reason we added it was because of a gaslight that we did. But I mean, what do you mean? Pasty Shank was always under the beds. It was always there. And this has been here since the beginning of the server. What do you mean? I feel like it definitely could be useful though in regards to escaping because you can still charge, which is basically like you move faster. So you can definitely use it for juking, which I feel is its true like kind of purpose of how good it is. Taco Deluxe. You know, I didn't find the Taco Deluxe much. Um, I'll put it C tier not because it's bad. It's funny, but doesn't really. It's not useful in any way. Like it's purely like literally its category name. There's a couple items under the category or in the plugins. It's called Troll. This is under Troll section. It's literally just a funny item because yes, funny, funny, funny good. Um, this is actually the one and only custom item created by Ashley when I was like teaching her how to make plugins. So for that, it's honestly already like S tier, but just because Ashley made it. But from its value of being like a good, I'll put it C tier. Bloodlust. D tier, not because this is an item made by Matrix. Also, you might know it as like the BK dash, I don't know, something. More commonly referred to as Bloodlust. Uh, the problem with this item, and I actually plan on rewrite, basically refactoring the entire how the item works. It's too niche and too rare of an item, aka while I'm gonna like refactor all of it. Um, it just it's such a niche item of what it does, and the fact that it doesn't give a description for what it does basically just leaves. I don't think anyone has like ever utilized this item in like a good way before. Like I don't think anyone's ever actually gotten anything like good out of it. 'Cause everyone just uses it and then is confused because you don't know what it does. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna end up redoing the item eventually. Bullet Storm. You know, I haven't used the Bullet Storm that often. I think I might have used it once. Um, I feel like it can definitely be useful because you don't need to reload. Um, but I don't know. I honestly, it's probably just because I haven't used it that much. I there really isn't much. This is also an item created by Matrix. Uh, that I just don't know. I don't know much. 14.99, A tier. Um, I honestly just like the concept of the item. This is an item created by me. Um, and Ashley. Ashley's the one who made the actual dimension for 14.99. Which honestly, this is 14.99 is an item that I wanted to make a plugin for since like when I first started creating plugins. It's always kind of like on my list of something I wanted to make. And the fact that we ended up having Ashley like create our own dimension for it honestly made it 10 times better than what it was originally going to be. So I'm really happy with how the item turned out. I just like the feel of the item. I am probably going to rework the dimension though because I'm kind of not happy with like the spawn system for it. I kind of want it to be like more immersive and stuff. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's eventually going to be reworked to be even better, but honestly, it's a pretty useful item. I mean, you a lot of times can trick SCPs into thinking that you're invisible and they'll just like leave. Like if you just go into the dimension, a lot of times they'll just leave your area so it can save you. You can get good items from the dimension and you can also just use it as like a way to heal without like worrying about like getting killed or prepping for a battle or stuff. It's just it's a fun item. Enhancer I, A tier. I mean anything that makes you invisible is honestly already pretty powerful. Definitely not anywhere near as good as 500 I. Um, but mm, I mean it's useful. It's like a get out of free card for SCPs almost. Yeah. Hack device. Dude, honestly, A tier. Hack device is so useful, especially this was Hack device was actually based on an Barrel's old plugin, which I don't think it was called Hack Device, but it spawned on actually the Serpent's Hacker, and I ended up like reworking the entire hacker because people didn't really like it spawning on the hacker, and I kind of agree because a device that locks a door as a hacker isn't really it's not as useful on humans, um, but it's so useful against SCPs, especially on like the guard team. So early game, it's like a get out of jail free card. Minus if you're against a 106, it's just it's so good. It gives you so much time to get away. I just especially like where it spawns like for guard like on the zone manager. Honestly, such a good item for against SCPs. Um, God 45 on steroids. Oh, this is an April Fool's item I made. And I ended up keeping it in as a item to get in 914. That's like hard to get. But if I don't think I've ever seen anyone on a non-April Fool's time. Like I know people have gotten it though. Um, but it's just I don't know. It's so like I don't know. Having 150 bullets on the Comp 45. It's just funny, honestly, and like pretty easily. You will destroy any SCP's health with it. Um, Execution Cleaver. Mm, I'll put it B tier. Uh, uh, actually, I'm gonna move it down to C tier. Not necessarily if we're on a custom item aspect. Jailbirds itself are already like pretty good items. Actually no, because that's a bug. Technically, I don't want to really. Oh, everyone already knows about it though. It's not. My thing with it is it's not too much better than an actual jailbird. I mean, all it gives is the bleed effect. I just kind of wanted the executioner to have something special. Um, I also personally am not really a melee person, so the execution cleaver kind of is like, eh. I mean, I made it, so like, of course I like it, but there's definitely people who I feel enjoy using it though. FN5, S tier, obviously. I mean, literally the best item. I don't. It's really only a legacy item now. Only a low chance to get it, but it's the best item. I have like an entire video on me like killing a serpent's hand using FN5. It's such a good gun. It's the biggest bragging gun. If you kill someone with it, like it's just the biggest bragging rights. It's the biggest bragging rights. Best gun. Machine gun. Mm, honestly, right here. Uh, Machine gun, pretty good. I mean, Logisher with more ammo. Yes, please. Um, makes yeah, it's just useful, honestly. And the submachine gun, where am I? It might be one of the more OP IP. The MGFRO is already like way too OP of a gun, and I was just a lot of people asked me what I was thinking when I decided to make the submachine gun, and the answer is I wanted chaos. I was like, I mean, I don't know, my logic was North was eventually going to nerf the hell out of the FRMG. Let's just have some fun with it. Also, I wanted a counterpart to the machine gun because I was like, ooh, I mean, they're both kind of like a squad leader. It's a heavy duty commander. They're basically like mirrors of each other. I mean, they should have like basically the mirror guns and stuff. That's actually something I do a lot with the custom classes. Not all of them have a counterpart, but a lot of custom classes do have counterpart versions. Like we have like the Phantom and the Sniper counterpart versions. I know there's more. Anyways, oh, it's like, oh yeah, like neutralizer enhancement specialist. They kind of have like the same kind of feel. Hunter tracker, same kind of like feeling gimmick type of thing. Um, and I also have kind of even like ones like for instance, bomber doesn't have a counterpart on the MTF side, but I do have a counterpart planned. It's just a little thing. You can look out for that. Um, SCP-127. B tier. I know a lot of people didn't like it when I was first released when you weren't allowed to reload, which is it was based on Barrel's old gun for the soldier, SCP-127 also called that, where it couldn't reload either. But um, I ended up taking away the reload feature or the not able to reload feature, so now it's a lot better. Like I mean, you can use it as basically a normal gun, or it also just totally regenerates ammo on its own. So it's good for conserving ammo and good just like in battle, considering you don't have to reload. Sniper. You know, A tier. Um, it's definitely a good item, especially against humans. I feel like it falls short on SCPs. It's not that good of an item. I prefer DPS over like one high damage for SCPs, except for 035. That is the 035 killer and bane. If like 035 is a pretty OP SCP, but like it should honestly be renamed 035 killer. Like that's kind of the thing with the plugins, right? Is it's everything kind of has a strength and a weakness, something to kind of counterbalance it, and that is the counterbalance of 035. You will destroy 035 with the sniper. But I feel like the sniper is overrated. So many people say it's like the greatest weapon in the world, and like in a an OP to the point of it like being too overpowered. But honestly, I don't know. I disagree. I don't think it's as OP as most people make it out to be. Like sure, in most cases it'll one shot a human, but like you only have one like clip mag before you have to reload. I personally don't think it's like useful short range unless you have just god aim and can hit your like one shot and get lucky. Um, so I don't think it's nearly as good as most people say it is. I mean it's good, but I feel like it's overrated. I think it's the most overrated item. Like Hyperadrenalin's the most underrated item, and Sniper is the most overrated item. Tracking rifle, mm, solid B tier. Um, it's I mean Epsilons are my baby. Two, uh, honestly, I don't know. As someone who plays like Valorant a lot and like knowledge can go a long way and with what you do with that knowledge. It's kind of like something I was trying to bring into like World War plugins and SL. Just having knowledge of where stuff is. I mean, I've personally used the tracking rifle to like for its purpose, like hunt down an SCP, figure out where like it's also such a good anti-camping device because you'll know where the SCP goes once you have it like tracked. Like it can't go and hide from you. Like it to an extent if utilized stops the whole where's the last SCP? We don't know where it's hiding. It's like you can find it. You can find where it goes off to, and you can just infinitely track something unless they kill you or you get a new target. Um, it just gives you all sorts of information about it. Honestly, I should add like percentage of health to it. I feel like that could be something cool. I don't know. It's a fun item to use if you're like a someone who like uses knowledge in a game. Um, Plasma cannon. I don't even know if this item works. To be real, this was made by Matrix a long time ago. Um, I'm not even sure what it even does anymore because it's had so many different renditions. I don't even think it works. I'm gonna be real. It's such a rare item, and I'm not even sure if it works. And it's something I don't really like doing as much as I don't like making super rare items. It's why you kind of stop once Matrix is no longer dev. Why you stop seeing kind of like super rare 1% chance to get items. I personally don't like spending a lot of time coding something that will only be seen every once in a while. And also I prefer like just having a lot more common custom items in play that are a bit more balanced around that. Um, nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever used the plasma cannon before. But yeah. Let's see. Enhancer dash S. Mm, mm, I don't know. I feel like speed. Speed is just such a useful thing to have. Um, Definitely not anywhere near as good as like speed pills. Um, but I mean, it's more reliable. I mean, granted, speed pills is definitely in your favor for going fast, but if you need something to get you out of something and be reliable, enhance your S because there is no fail case. It'll always give you the speed, which I feel is a lot more useful. Enhancer T, maybe B tier. I don't know. It's kind of an effect where you might not realize what it's doing for you since like damage reduction isn't something that's like easily measured for you, but it definitely helps. Like it's something I always use if I have it to prep for fights, and it probably makes a bigger difference than you would like imagine, but doesn't have the flair that you'd probably want. 500T, A tier. Um, 500. I mean, I think it's also one of those items where you can also like just as easily like fuck yourself over. Like, don't teleport. Oh, look, I spawned next to an SCP. But I feel like that's honestly part of the fun of 500T. It's like you can go anywhere. I mean, use it at the beginning of the game. You can spawn by gate B and escape. It's your own personal course teleportation in your hand. It's fun. It's fun. 500A. I'm gonna go B. It's almost pretty OP, like early game, because it's basically just your own personal gunman that you can spawn at the very beginning and light and be like, ha ha ha. But I mean, honestly, getting allies is always pretty good, but it's B tier, B tier. But yeah, that is my ranking for all my custom items. I will be doing the other two in another video.